It says we're live. I know you can hear us.
Hello, Linda.
Hello, Matthew. How are you?
Doing lovely. And yourself?
Well, I'm doing well. I got to be with my grandkids, so it's a good thing.
Nice. Very, very good. Well, we are doing something, it seems like we're always doing something different. So I don't think I can actually say we're doing something different if we're always doing something different, right?
I see that you brown nose with your shirt today. Did you just run off and change your shirt? Or did you have that on the whole time?
I took a shower just for you so I wouldn't smell bad
Oh,
through Zoom.
thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Sharing is caring, right?
Yeah.
That's the best way to go about it. So, we are going to jump in real quick here today. And what we are doing today is specifically going to be jumping into QuickBooks Online Advanced.
Mhm.
And through Advanced, we are going to um, dive into some of the deeper features. I've got some favorite ones, you've got some favorite ones, that kind of thing. And really, most important is we're hoping to have people ask us a whole bunch of questions. Now is the best time if you've ever had questions that you're really wanting to learn more about Advanced. Try to stump us, right?
I'm curious in the group, how many people here have even looked at it or used it with their clients? I mean, I know it's their top tier product. So have you looked at it, used it? What do let's just see if who's actually seen it and used it, because it is, we don't get it for free. So
Yep, that's okay, but it's definitely well worth it for sure. So,
it is, and that's the best part about it is it's got a lot of great features, which we're going to highlight today.
all right. So I'm testing something different here, and it seems like it's working. Yay! I'm not covering your face up. Cool. So
Hey,
what?
well, that
Let's
wasn't intentional.
not exactly. So let's go ahead and dive in. And I just actually in Facebook we actually just did kind of a poll for people to be able to answer theirs to whether or not they have been using um, QuickBooks Online Advanced as well or not. But Linda, what about in Zoom? How about everybody here? Who's using Advanced? Who's not? And then my next question is going to be, what feature is everybody most interested to learn about?
Rosanna said she's never used it, so I'm excited to show it to her because I know she works with attorneys and it's a great product, even if they don't have to be in it. I don't even really bring up the other products when I'm working with them because there's so many good parts of it
Uh-huh.
that it's a great program.
Nice. All right. So then, so for me, one of my favorite features, of course, but we're going to do this one kind of last, is the custom fields, and it's because I feel like I always talk about custom fields. We should show some of the other stuff first. Do you have a preference of where you would
I've
like
never
to
heard you
start?
mention it.
I'm sorry.
I've never heard you mention custom fields
Yeah,
before.
never, never. Um, do you have a preference of where you would like to start? What's your favorite one you'd like to go with first?
Actually, it's hard to pick a favorite. I think when it comes to QuickBooks Online Advanced, I would have to say my favorite, well, for me,
Usually, you
because
say workflows.
I was going to say workflows. I really do like the workflows. It's really cool. It's like that's an extra bonus though, more than the other features. I love the ability of the users to the roles, but workflows for sure. It's just an extra piece that's built right in. Oh, and the Business Performance Center. That's my other new exciting feature. So
Okay.
we'll start with this one.
So with workflows, how are you using it? Like, kind of guide me. You are visiting family, so we don't have you to have the access to
I
actually take
know.
control the
I
same way,
know.
right?
Uh,
But give me the guidance and tell us how you use this currently.
I because attorneys are not really great at making sure that their accounts receivable is in good order. Usually when I take on a new client, we take a look at that and it's like, oh my, really? You're this far behind? And they're always like, well, yeah, you would think being an attorney, right? You'd be able to write out the letter and kind of chase it, but they don't. A lot of times they spend time writing it off. So the automation part of this is if you have an invoice, it's due net 15, you can send out the invoice and then on the 15th day when it's actually due, send out the reminder. It's automatic. So you don't have to have somebody going through the list, seeing who's due, and then sending it out. You can set it up so that it automatically sends that email out that will go out to remind them. So that's the best part of it. And then if they're late, there's another email that will go out, and you can change the language on it, which I really like. And it's just, I don't know, that alone takes a workload off of a person that might have been doing just that part of the accounts receivable, automating it.
Okay, so I'm going to dive in and just kind of show how some of these functionalities of it work. The way we got to this, as a quick reminder, on the side, and this again, this is specifically QuickBooks Online Advanced. When you come into here, you can have your workflows, your little sidebar here, of course. Under workflows, they already have quite a few different templates established, and really those are the ones you're primarily going to work with, because you can't really make your own custom ones quite yet, but they're coming up with new suggestions all the time.
Right.
So the one you were talking about would be doing something like a payment due reminder, right? As well as so if I came in, I'd go create, click onto this. We can name it however we want. So if you wanted to, because you can actually like filter down to specific types of customers onto this, you could do it based on a customer type by naming it. So we'll go type A personality. The grayed out ones are not selectable, but then if I came into here, I could come in and choose different clients or customers that I specifically want to be using this for. So let's put a couple of our friends into here. We'll go Brandon. I think we had Lisa in here as well. We were going to save the special late payment one for you, Linda, so we'll do that different time. And we'll go to Nerd. So got a whole bunch of people added in. For all of these people, they would specifically receive this. And then the amount, it's of course, the purpose of this is you don't necessarily need to send a reminder out to somebody who owes you $5. But if you had a situation where they owed you 500, you've got the ability, more than, equal to, so forth. You could really kind of control that part of it. So we'll go more than or equal to 500. And then this is the actions part you were talking about before, right? So coming in, and the first thing is going to be send email one day. If it's a reminder due, I would actually choose before due date, right? And I would go probably like 5 days before if you got extended terms. Sound good?
Right.
So then, and you can send a copy to any of the people that you have listed in your company file. So this would be send one to an internal person as well. When it goes to the internal person, it's supposed to be able to send a mobile notification as well for that person. Now, when you set this up, you do have variables that you can plug into this. And if you click down here, if I remember correctly, it will kind of give you a list of all of the different variables that could be used throughout the program itself. And there's a list of about 30 different items. I mean, it's going to be customer name, address, contact number, those type of things, document number, balance, so forth. So you can custom tailor this to be the message that you wish.
Right. And I find that if we usually help them set it up when we work with them. So that part of it is crucial, so that you want to test it first, make sure it's what you want to see before you set it up. But they're all loving it. So I'm finding that it's been a big positive. The other big positive on the workflow is the undeposited funds, because we have some clients that they do their trust funds, or they receive their client funds, and they will put it in the undeposited fund account, and then they'll deposit it, but they'll forget to group them together. And this is a reminder so that that account doesn't grow into a really big amount. And I love this because it's been helpful with people who are doing this work. I mean, we work with the mid-market firms, but a lot of times it's not the person that's assigned the bookkeeper role isn't actually a full, they drew the short straw. And to learn this new program, we're usually taking them off of another one to learn this. They're not sure about what even the undeposited funds account is, because it's kind of a QuickBooks term. So this way it stays on top, and it's a good education tool for us when we start to see that. At least they get that email message, and then they'll reach out to us saying, what does this mean? And then, yeah.
So I'm sorry, that was a short what?
Are you making fun of my accent already? See? See. And then you use the vendor one, right?
I'm sorry?
Isn't there a vendor workflow in there now?
Well, let's go back to the templates and we can see what other ones they've got. Well, they got a pay vendor reminders,
Pay
so
vendor
the
reminder,
same
right?
kind of concept.
Yep.
The other one, unsent invoice reminder or automatically sending the unsent ones, those are great. If you're using like delayed charges, if you create invoice and you're not sending it, this is one of those things you can do to make sure it kind of gets sent out. Now, keep in mind, be smart with that. If you have a tendency of creating an invoice, I would be concerned it might try to send it before. If you don't check it
Yeah.
later, it could
That
try
one
to send it off.
I've not really used because of that. There's also, and I don't see it on this particular file, but on some of my files and the newer ones, it has the invoice approval. That's a new new workflow template that they actually have the approval. So they have to get the approval before they send it out. And I don't see that on your list, but it's a new one that maybe you don't have yet in your folder because they roll out these features. I do have it because I'm getting new files and it's got all the features in it.
Okay. And then, so from there, another popular one. Actually, I should ask you any questions on any of that stuff from within the group or on Facebook at this time.
Nope, I don't see any questions. A couple people are saying the screen's a little blurry again for some reason. So
Yeah, we're working on it, guys. Um, yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. So, the um, so next from there, I would say we can go over to user permissions.
yes.
So for user permissions, that's a very popular one as well. And this is another area they're doing a lot of build out in and coming up with different type of concepts of this, right? So which ones do real quickly, which ones do you use? And then we'll dive into like how they work and such.
Well, the AR is a big one. Especially with some of the firms, a lot of the immigration firms, there's a lot of AR and there's multiple people working on it. So some don't get access to seeing the deposits, some do. So you have the ability to filter that down, which is really, really nice. I've used actually with the mid-market firms, I've even used the expense because we have a person that just handles that side of it. So that's another good one. And then of course, we've got some because of the firm might be bigger and some of the partners really don't want to touch QuickBooks, but they want to be able to see. So you've got the read only, which I really like.
All right. So if we come into any of these, basically, actually, so the preset ones are going to have all these predefined characteristics and everything else inside here. I'm actually going to go back out and we'll kind of see as if we just create our own complete custom one. One of the nice things is if you actually set up the functionality to where it matches a predefined one, it says you've already created a role that is like this. So you don't have like 6 of them in there that are basically doing the exact same thing. So they've expanded this quite a bit where the breakout between the sales expenses, everything else. So if we want to do like bank deposit capability or versus all banking, I love the fact that they're doing, do they really need to have all this information? So do not give access or give access to provide the whole detail. So if this person is basically, if they need all banking and they're handling all the matching of all the transactions and such, you would need all of it, of course. Inventory management's a little bit newer one, I believe, as well. So we've already got an inventory specialist one, of course, on side there. And then if, like you were saying, like the deposit detail is one of the most popular ones that we're always doing. So that would be your bank deposit. And we would do, of course, your invoices inside of here as well.
I also recommend testing it too. So like we did, we make a user that's email that's just for us, for our purposes, a test. So when you're working with a client, test out what it looks like, maybe take a few screenshots so you can explain to the client, this is the user, because they get a little confused on what exactly the roles are, but a lot of the law firms, especially, they don't want their clients looking at all, their employees looking at all that specific parts of the data, like maybe the checkbook or maybe even like the full, they don't want them to see what's on, what the partners are making, for example. So you can explain to them the view and how they really are restricted. It's very blank. They don't get all the tabs that we get to see. And sometimes it's hard to conceptualize that, but when you take a few screenshots and invite yourself as a user that's specific to one area of one of the user roles, then they can get an idea of what the person can see. Because you get 25 users with QuickBooks Online Advanced, and you get 3 accountant seats, which is really important when you're starting to work at this size. If I have a client and I need Matthew to work with me in the file, he can log in he wouldn't have to be under my team. He can come in right in as an accountant because I have the ability in the space to add that extra user.
Right.
And
And
Purvi asked, are these features in accountant tools only, or I will cut this off here, or for clients also? I'm not quite sure what you mean by that, but I'm thinking that you mean, can we use our accountant tools in QuickBooks Online Advanced? And yes, as long as you're invited as an accountant user, you can use all your tools inside QuickBooks Online Advanced.
yeah, so I think also the key is this stuff is all specific for advanced is correct.
Right.
So user roles again, as you start getting to these larger organizations, as you were talking about, it really does make a difference to keep people on track as to what it is that they should be doing in comparison. Stay on target, as I'd always say. So it's a good way to just keep people on task.
Yeah.
Now, you like also, I'm kind of going out of order here just a bit, but the other one that you liked was the performance dashboard, right?
Yeah, that is getting better and better, especially with now that's got the metrics where you can track KPIs. And I haven't really had much time to play around in it, but I love the fact that with this performance center, I can create what my client's asking to see in the file. So this piece right here, so the partners in a law firm want to know how the business is doing overall, right? So they can use an app like Lean Law and know their client side, but that's only a part of the picture. Here I can give them the whole picture with QuickBooks Online Advanced. And I can create these because they don't want to look at reports so much as these graphics. So we can create them, and there's quite a few in here. You could do practice area. There's a lot of different ways you can track the data, and then they can keep an eye on how they're doing. So this is a really nice value add that's not in the other products. And if you've got a client that really wants to, a lot of the clients are growing, and if they need to see how they're doing, this is a great feature to let them monitor how they're doing.
So functionality wise, again on this, if you're coming in and you want to create a new chart, there's going to be a couple of default ones. I've set up a whole bunch of different random ones inside of here. And as usual, this is our fake company file. So some of the data will probably not make the most sense, but it's because it's a fake company file.
Mm-hmm.
But this probably kind of give you some different ideas. If I want to create a new one, go back up to the top here. We'll go add a new chart. And it's going to ask you through pop-ups like what it is that you want to do. So why don't you give me some guidance? Tell me what to pick and choose onto this.
I like the cash flow one, but I also I'm trying to see here because it's really small.
Okay, never mind. I'll do it.
Yeah, I'm on my laptop, so.
So let's say we want to track our expenses. We can click on expenses real quick here. We can then come in. We can choose whether we want vertical or like trend lines. We're going to name our chart, which is going to be expense tracking or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm going to choose my time period that I want to do all of this for. And then I'm going to choose how I would like to group this information as well. So I like the fact that I could do grouping by a project, which is pretty neat. And then from that, you can choose multiple projects up to 10 items. Okay, so we'll go this year. We'll actually go last year. What are we doing here? Older data. I need to update the dates on some of this stuff. Coming through and basically add all of these on if I wanted to, or I can just do it by vendor even. We can switch out that way as well. Choose from those. They have on some of these, what I really liked is there's certain ones that actually have like a top 3 option that I love when they do that, because this is nice, but if for me right now, like knowing which one I need to add on may be a little bit more challenging. Of course, you'd probably do it where you've pulled up a report on it, but I know I used Lowe's quite a bit, so that should give me something here. Oh.
You really can play around with it and get a good look at what looks the best and give your client, I mean, just setting it up and then giving them, I usually set it up and then I invite the client in to show them this is what we're able to see. We do this, I actually have a demo file that I do this kind of thing with when I'm trying to sell it to somebody coming off another platform, because this alone shows all the points and it gives them something that they never really get to see with a lot of the programs that I'm taking them and migrating them off of.
So then I'll click and add it to the dashboard, and it will then populate that really fancy,
That's great.
crazy report right there for you.
Mhm.
Now, another thing is this insights. So as you can see, it kind of says beta, but a lot of these have been added on automatic as they keep coming out with these new cool different reports. What I like is that you can dive into these a little bit more. And as you start to click in, you could see where you're spending your money, some different details like gross profit is trending. Linda, you got to get to work. It's simple as that. We're losing money. So you
You
can
don't pay me
dive.
enough.
I'm sorry.
Said you don't pay me enough.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so you can dive in deeper and get more detail oriented reporting. Visual information is the whole point, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Because part of mine, I ran a test on a couple of our clients, and literally I showed them a profit and loss, and I said, "What stands out to you on this?" And he's all looks at it. He's like, "Is Donnie? I don't know. Not making enough money at the bottom, right? I mean, literally,
Where
that's
they look. That's where they
right.
look,
It's
right
the
at the
first thing to
bottom.
do. So then I pull up something like this and start to show him, and he's like, "Well, wait a second, wait a second. What does this mean? So why is this? Why is it all of a sudden that my revenue here is higher than before?" It invokes more conversations from people is what we really found more than anything else. So that's why I think this is actually one of the more powerful tools that we've got inside of this at this time.
And I don't know about you, but my clients actually, when I have this inside, you're right about the conversation because they're more actively engaged in helping them grow. This feature alone, they will call me out and ask me about certain things, and sometimes this helps you also find if there's something that's not been posted right. So it's just been a great tool for that. And then if they want to grow, you can have the conversation about how to help them grow, which will be more of your advisory services. But it's definitely a bonus. They do follow these. Once you show them how to get there, it's been really, for me, it's been helpful to have that on my screen with them, and they really understand it better than sending them, emailing them reports, which is what I was doing with Plus.
Nice. So the next one I was going to go to is our batch transactions. And they've actually expanded this one quite a bit as well. So a lot of these things, you've heard us talk about them before, but we just wanted to be able to touch base on them again because we are finding great uses for all of these details within the clients we're helping now. At first, I would say that we were hesitant because of the retail to retail price difference. But as soon as I started to realize it was like $75 a month difference, the
Mm-hmm.
amount of time it saves is what really
That's
matters
it.
to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's the big
um,
part of it.
so we've got. I have not seen bank deposits before. That is
Just do.
brand new. So we've got the different transaction types: invoice, now bank deposits. We'll click on that in a second here. Sales receipts, checks, expenses, bills, and I want to see what this one does.
It's funny because it seems like it's like you're a kid in a candy store with this product because they keep adding new things
Yeah,
all the time, like just now, things that we didn't know were there.
interesting. So this, of course, gives me tons of questions in my mind about how we would want to use this and like how it works nicely. How does it play with undeposited funds or not? Right?
Mhm.
Um,
I'm
what should?
wondering if this is more for e-commerce.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't know.
so it makes I can see why, but you just don't have like I don't know because even e-commerce usually depends on how the merchant processing is going through. If you're going to have it batching like deposits together, I wouldn't really want to do it that way necessarily. But it
No.
does have receipt from, so you can choose your client, of course. You can choose the account that you're tagging stuff to. I'll have to follow back up on this one. We'll see what we can find from it. Now, the invoice one is, I think, the most common one that everybody would be using.
Hmm.
And it is now possible to do a copy and paste functionality of everything right into here. What I suggest doing with that, and in just a moment, I forgot to pull up the Excel file. What I basically did is I created an Excel file that had the exact same columns in the same order here
Hmm.
to make it to where you could fill in whatever you need to um, and you can copy and paste right into it. Now, I see Tina saying in batch transactions, I can still copy and paste from Excel or
Excel or
Google
Google
Sheet.
Sheet.
Yes,
It has
yes,
to be
yes, yes.
formatted, right? It's very important, the formatting. It has to be formatted like you see on the screen.
Yes. So have you used this part at all as I go through to try to grab that batch transaction thing?
I have not used the batch invoicing other than with a real estate client for late fees. Other than that, no, I've not actually taken, like you showed me when I was out in California, you showed me how to move the, how to take the file and copy it. And there was a trick to the date range that I remember seeing you do, because you actually took in Excel and made a formula for the date range so it would populate. I also noticed when you did it, and a very good tip is that you took the data over in sections. So it wasn't like you copied and paste an entire sheet. You brought it over in a couple of sections. It was still really fast, but it was definitely a little bit more tricky than, and you had to have some Excel skills for certain, but it did come in nicely.
So let me the magic. So right now you should be
Yep, you can see your Excel spreadsheet.
okay, good. So what I've got is this is something I made a little while back, and we can put it in the group actually to where everybody can use it.
So everybody can use it, yeah.
What I did was create just a basic template off of all this information, and let's zoom in to get closer here. So invoice number, customer, so forth, all this stuff going across, right? If you've got it organized in the right direction, and please understand, I did not test this because I thought there was some extra changes recently for like adding custom fields in, so it's probably not going to work exact. Put that down, and I can already see the difference. Come back here, we'll go customer, and we'll go control paste.
I see a lot of red boxes.
So what would happen with the right stuff selected, you would be able to, yeah, I've got customer B, right? So if I was to come back and actually change it out and use the proper names, the stuff has to match is the key thing. So what you'd be doing is the customer should be inside the system. If we go customer B, it'll actually populate extra stuff in. Let's go to put Ernest in today or wherever we got here. Jerks. Parkway. There we go. So now chose somebody correct. Email goes in. Invoice dating is automatic for today. You've got the location of the sale. This was a really important part because this has to do with sales tax. Is one of the reasons I really want to stress that. Yes. Shipping to, of course, ship date if you wanted to. So if I'm missing any information, since we tried to copy and paste in, we'll put these all for the same day just real quick. Location, we're not as, so there's location as in location in the file itself, or instead of location of the sale, totally different deals. Shipping date, we're not worried about. And then all this other detail stuff is all set up inside of here. It's even pulling in the values of the custom fields, which is awesome. So as long as you put the right customer name in, those fields will populate. You can also go to the top of here, and you've got a little minus sign here. If you shrink that down, compresses it. And the thing is, if you're going to copy and paste in, that makes a difference. So if you shrink it and then you took and moved a template up, you want to only have one field or one column for custom fields, not all the ones that are being hidden, because it's going to be a match line by line by line all the way across.
Now, if you had the test file for QuickBooks Online Advanced, can you play in that and practice here? Because it's really important that if you get this all put together, I would practice it and not do it in your live file first. I don't know if you could do that with the batch invoicing. Does that function work? Okay.
Yeah, it should.
I really recommend that.
But we can also, again, I've already got most of the templates made. We'll put them in the group for people in the group to take and have.
Tina's very happy about that, I think. She's on Facebook asking about it, and I told her you'd share.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll put in the files. Happy to do that, of course. So now for proc services, I can come into here and just choose something. It's going to fill in automatic, all the details, of course, for us. It's taxable, so we've got that.
wasn't there a box about email too that I remember you showing me that email later or something, there was a box that you said make sure, because it would throw it. Yeah.
The send later? What do you mean?
Send later button. Yeah. Remember we tried it and I think it came in like all checked off, and then we had it wouldn't go through because it was checked off, but some of them didn't have emails. So, you have to make sure it's really in the details of using this. Is it a great tool? Yes. You have to be particular, like with any other import tool in QuickBooks. If you've ever imported a chart of accounts, same thing. You have to make sure it all works, because it won't import if there's any red boxes in there that are being flagged because there's something not right with the import.
Now, the other thing that you can do is, as you saw, I just hit the plus sign to add another product on here.
Right.
So I can actually come in, and if I go back and look, our invoice number,
Mm-hmm.
it provided extra lines so you can create multiple line item invoices for things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then once you have all that information, location value, why is it doing that? Boom. Just get rid of these things. Even I can see red right then. If you click on the three dots, you have the ability, you can duplicate this same structure, this exact same thing for multiple invoices or multiple customers, where you would come through, search, find the right person, and add them on into here. So this became really helpful for us one time when we were doing late fees for a company. And it wasn't now you have the little late fee functionality in QuickBooks Online, but this was one where we were charging $25 if it's changing all the time. And it was
homeowners association is a great one for this, because if you have a homeowners association, and it's just like we use in desktop, the batch, right? So if you have a homeowners association and the dues go up, like they usually do every year, now you can pull your whole list of people in and send that new invoice. If you're doing recurring, it's harder to go through and recreate them all. But if you do it this way, you can come in and create the invoice with what you want it to see, and then add all the people in to send it.
And then because I kind of scrolled down before, I had added extra lines in, and it ended up bringing them in down below.
Okay.
So if I go through, I'm going to get rid of these last little boxes again real quick that are popping up on us. Because if I go save and close, I'm expecting I'll have more problems. Just go save, actually. It will tell us if there's errors on things also.
Mm-hmm.
It will try to put some in, and it may be able to, but if it can't, it will save. So like here we got 0 out of 6, of course. So you'd be able to go through, find where the challenges are, make sure you get everything addressed correctly.
And you made, like, you're sliding here to the right. I've had it where I've looked, I'm like, well, what's wrong? Nothing's flagged, but you to realize that goes all the way over to the right. So there's a lot more data in this, more than what's on your screen.
Missing allowed value. So this is where, for somebody like me, this actually can be a little bit tough because I can't see the red. So you'd go through, you'd find where that's at, save it, be able to push, be able to go right through. You can also modify, and that's actually, I just saw something else here that's new, delete. That's brand new also.
Oh, we've been waiting for that one, haven't we?
Yes. So now for modified, and it's not, invoices has all these, but not all the other ones necessarily do. Date range, we're going to go... that to today and apply. So now you get a full list of the different stuff, because you can do the filtering you can do inside of here is actually pretty impressive. Look for customer. These are different custom fields I put in. So if you want to look at it that way, the different, tons and tons of information here. Equals to, contains, pull up names. It's actually by far the most powerful filtering they have. Then you would come in and you would choose which ones you want to modify. Then you would click edit. And when you come into here, you can modify all of the different items, going kind of line by line by line, basically, to change this up. Now, one thing it still doesn't have, which I keep hoping that they will add in, is they don't have custom fields in here. So you can't modify custom fields yet on this. Okay. possibly in the near future.
Stay tuned.
So, and then the delete would be the next part of that you could do, which I'll go back to because I exited out on accident. Any questions as I go to pull that up?
Nope, just that Tina wants the link to the QuickBooks Online Advanced test drive, and I'm going to give it to her. That one is a different one than the regular test drive. So, and I highly, if you're not familiar with QuickBooks Online, definitely go into the test drive. You can play around with all of the features and really become familiar with them, so that if you do want to, if you find that you have a client that this is going to be helpful for you, we used to use, there's a lot of the apps that we used to use that are now, these things are baked inside of QuickBooks Online Advanced. So you might be able to, with the pricing, it might actually end up being a little bit cheaper to go to QuickBooks Online Advanced and get the extra features that they didn't even know they could have. So available to you. And it's right inside the product, which is really cool.
Right. So now one of the last ones, of course, would be, we still have, if you go into your reporting section, you could go in and you could take a look at, come on. The performance dashboard, personally, I think is expanding and doing even more. But one of the things that everybody always talks about, of course, is Fathom.
Yes.
So Fathom is one we could do a full review of it ourselves on just that one part. I really like the performance dashboard to where I think you're getting a lot more out of it. So what we'll do is we're going to jump into doing the custom fields.
And our friend Erin Walsh Dwyer has done multiple webinars on Fathom, so we could probably find one.
Yeah, I mean, there's just some really cool reporting stuff. I like the cash flow tool set up onto it. If you guys are interested in learning more, we can actually show maybe some more of this about it next week, but trying to be respectful of time-wise real quick here. I figure what we'll do is let's jump over to the other. Now, I'm going to jump into a different one real quick here. Let's see. Like this. And the way the custom, so there's some new things coming pretty darn quick here in the future that we will show you. I'm sorry, that we can't show you is what I meant to say.
I was just going to say, what are you doing?
Excuse me. That unfortunately, one of the difficult things, we try our hardest to be very private with information as much as we can. And because we have one of the features turned on inside, I can't go into the custom fields the way I really want to.
It's hold our files too, so yeah.
Yeah. So, but I've done plenty of videos on it, and I will say that the stuff that they've got coming is pretty cool. So keep an eye out. We've asked them over and over and over again to allow us to be, to tell you as soon as we possibly can. Functionality just be even easier for everybody. But the way the custom fields work is fundamentally, you come in, you're gonna be able to create a specific custom field. You're gonna have the option to choose between like a customer type information, transaction, or vendor information. Now the vendor information is kind of more of it's the newer aspect of it. So you can be doing expense side of this stuff also, which is what I really like. When you come in, if you choose customer, the customer is going to work on all the sales forms. Now, what that means is, in a sense, if you basically start at like an estimate, the estimate can become a purchase order. So you could create a whole setup where you go estimate, purchase order, bill with custom field, and the same custom fields available on the estimate to the invoice and so forth and through like credit memos and such. You would choose between the 4 different types of custom fields we have. All 4 of them are pretty cool, but really the drop-down list is the one I use the most all the time. You've got a choice between text, number, date, and the drop-down. Number is going to give you the ability, you can do it's any number 0 through 9 and a decimal point. Only 1 decimal point can be done. You can't use any other characters than that, of course. And then date would actually give you a pop-up calendar that would show up and display where you can then choose from the calendar, like you use it for law firms all the time, right? Where it's like the date of initial injury or something of that nature.
There's plenty of things that we need the dates for, yes.
Yeah. And then, so the drop down, which is my absolute favorite. This is a great one. They've actually expanded this up to 100. So I wish there was a way we could import this, because it'd be great to have all the states listed out. So you could do each state listed if you wanted to have geographical locations. Let's say you have sales teams and you've got a different sales rep in each state. You could do something like this if you wanted to. So if we did, I'll go states and we'll go California, we'll go Washington. Guess we'll add Florida and we'll go save. Now, once we have this, this gives us the ability, we can then use these on any of the customers or sales forms. So if I was to come in and search for a person, I'd be able to type in these fields onto that specific person itself and be able to do more control. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go new invoice and we'll go this way. And if I pull up, we'll create Park real fast here. And go details. Perfect. Sneaky way to get in without showing all the other information off. Worked great.
There you go. Good job.
So inside of here on the custom fields, you'll see at the customer level, all of these values are here. So let's go to states. Let's go California. We can do sales rep with a name onto it. We'll put this person here. And we could do lead source, so forth. If I hit save, once this gets pulled in, oops, you'll see that it automatically pulled in the values right away for our sales rep, everything else.
Yeah.
So this is great, especially if you, again, sales rep, if you've got a couple of different people, you need to be tracking who's responsible for what sales. And if it's a certain sales rep assigned to a certain client, then this stuff gets filled in automatic. There's also
which saves a lot of time. Yep.
Yeah. There's also transaction level, which would give you access to the fields still on here, but you have to fill them in every single time you do a different type of document. I've got a lot of videos on this on my YouTube channel that you can dive in deep. More importantly, if you really want to know more about it, ping me. I mean, you probably won't be able to get me to shut up on it. So
no, he loves custom fields. We both love custom fields. It's just so powerful, and it's not. Is there any other accounting platforms that have this ability that you can really customize a program? I mean, for me, it's really beneficial because I take people off of other platforms that have other language and other fields that normally wouldn't be for everybody. And I'm able to take what they've been accustomed to and then put it in their program. And they're like so blown away that they didn't lose something that they were really used to tracking things on.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of different companies that do different types of custom fields. The thing that we always have to remember, the way that this program looks is a big part of their software development. Mm-hmm. It's a lot easier to create a program that will basically be very boxy and just looks like a big Excel thing. Mm-hmm. But the functionality, the ability for things to look smooth and the coloring and everything else and the interaction back and forth to all this stuff, that software development takes a whole bunch of time and energy. And when you start having teams and if they start, like everybody has a different writing style, right? So coding is kind of close to the same idea. There's a lot that goes into making these things hum the way they do.
Well, I have to tell you, I mean, when I was on council, I got to meet a lot of the developers, and they take a lot of pride. You've talked to them too. They take a lot of pride in the way their product looks, and it doesn't look like. I mean, every time I've opened up a product that's kind of new, and you open up and even with the law firm stuff, I'm like, oh my God, this looks like a 12th grader created it. And when QuickBooks is just a lot different than that. Rosanna asked a great question. Yeah. She asked if the Business Performance Center is connected to Fathom, and that is a no. It's connected to the data in QuickBooks, but it's totally separate.
So it's a good question, which actually, to illuminate more, Business Performance Center only inside of QuickBooks Online, basically, right? Like you don't have the ability to take and turn those into management reporting that you can send out the same way. Mm-hmm. So there's absolutely still a place for Fathom is phenomenal if you want to take and you want to roll up different companies and you need to do specialized reporting that way. If you want to do more detailed KPI reports, it's great for that as well. So I would actually say that the Performance Center is a great step up in the right direction. Mm-hmm. And then from there, you go up to Fathom for the even more advanced reporting also. Right. So
Kirby asked, "Is QuickBooks Advanced make it easier? Does it make it? Will QuickBooks Online Advanced make it easier?"
make what easier?
I don't know. And
Okay,
how do you migrate the data from Microsoft Dynamics? I don't know anything
good
about
question.
that.
So Microsoft Dynamics, boy, talk about a program that has a very boxy feel to it. That is it.
Really?
Yeah, it's part like you can get it within your Office 365 subscription if you want on the higher level. But every time I've played with it, it just didn't, it was too clunky.
Oh,
The user experience is so important. Like if you're clicking a button and you want to go to bank feeds or whatever, I'm just making something up. Do you see where it's at, or do you have to go search 6 places to get to it? And it's like Zoho. I don't know how many people have ever tested out Zoho. Zoho One is one of the best values out on the market. It's like $40, and you get all these different widgets and gadgets and wows, and they're all interconnected. But their CRM is so ugly, I can't make myself work inside of it. It just like
it's so funny how you get so used to it and then you start to work in this product, and I am used to it and I love the look of it, and it looks really, for me, I work with
yeah.
lawyers, professionals. It's impressive when you take them for this little journey through a demo and show them what this product looks like. It's an easy sell, which is makes
Yeah, I
my job
mean,
easier.
I remember when it first came out. You and I were both talking about this, and trying to like we were trying to come up with logical reasons of how we could really use it. And I can tell you now, no BS, hands down, the custom fields itself, the fact I don't have to go back in and clean up data on the custom fields is phenomenal. And more important, I have it on good authority that there is traction being made on getting access to custom fields through the API. I don't know how soon, but I tell you what, the moment that becomes available, it's game over.
Yeah.
Imagine any application you want, whether it's lean law or if I'm using C data to grab and pull stuff back and forth. If you have the ability to take all those special data points or unique bits of data and put it into QuickBooks, now you have a single place to do your reporting. As soon as that interaction is there, it's like
Right.
they should have started. I wish they would have started with it. It's going to be so powerful.
It's the
So powerful.
teaser, right? It's coming. It's coming. Larry DeForest said, "Thank you. Great information today."
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Sorry we had to kind of twist and turn around a couple of things, but hey, that's what's called live. So on that note, actually, we haven't had a chance to quite do this. So first, real quickly, Linda, I'd like to congratulate you,
On what?
top
I'd
100
like to
pro advisor,
congratulate you too.
and to everybody else that's on the list, we're gonna just end it real quick by showing that.
We're in good company.
Yes.
Okay, we see QuickBooks.
Oops, can I do it? We've I'm not gonna be able to do it right now.
We're in
It's gonna,
great company. We are in great company.
you guys know who you are. Go watch the video. But no, it was a great honor. Thank you for everybody who has been following us, who helps promote us, who helps drive us forward every single time. We do truly appreciate it. It's a really cool feeling to be on there with so many amazing people, and we know there's a lot more than 100 of you all out there, but it's neat. So
Yes, every pro advisor is a great pro advisor. I mean, I've been doing this for how long? And I've been a pro advisor since 2002. And this is a big honor for me. But I mean, I just think everybody should be recognized because
I think I know a couple bad pro advisors out there.
no, we don't know any. We have a great group of
I'm just
people. And I
kidding.
want to thank everybody. Our group grew quite a bit
Yeah.
this week. I know a lot of people came over for law firm purposes, which thank you. Thank you, Erica. So it's great. Thank you for coming. And I hope hope that now that you're here, you get to see what we do. And typically we answer questions every week that are in the group. So please ask questions, answer questions,
Yep.
and just thank you for joining. We really want this group. It's a very safe place to ask questions. No question is too small.
On that note, here's wishing everybody a very successful week. Thank you so much.
Bye.